Okay, so it feels like time is just flying by super, super quickly. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about this topic of not letting time just fly by, letting it actually be a tool for you to get closer to where you want to get. And I'm going to be talking about just purely off of my own experience and my own opinions. And I'm not even the whole purpose of this video is just to hopefully spark the fire or relight a dying fire in at least one person, because this is, in my opinion, a very, very important topic, and a lot of people just forget about it or they overlook it, or there's not enough people talking about it. I have no idea, but yeah, I'm not even gonna put my Discord or my socials or anything in the description because I just want this purely to be conversational. um, so yeah, time is flying by. Like to just give a little bit of context to start this video off. Like I remember when I first got into my teen years. I'm in my early 20s right now. I remember my later teens, my early 20s, or like earlier, much more recent. And I dedicated a lot, basically my entire life to, and I'm not even gonna get into detail about it, but one specific topic, one skill, one form of education that I take very seriously and that I am constantly trying to learn more of and improve because it's what I really care about. So I guess to really narrow things down, it's like, okay, like there's two kinds of people: the people that have yet to really lock in towards working towards a goal, or it can be education based, it can be something skill based. It doesn't matter. It's There's two kinds of people: ones that have not started yet. Doesn't matter what age you are in, and then the people that have started, doesn't matter what age you are in either. But basically, the way I view it is, time really flies by a lot, and like, how are we using this time properly to our advantage? Are we actually, doing things every day, every other day, or just, however many times it is to get closer to this specific goal that you may have? And then the cost of that as well is like, okay, how dedicated are you are to learning this skill, educating yourself more on a specific topic, or both. And it really comes down to the cost of people just naturally being pushed away. The people that really care will stick around. But seeing friends and family basically disappear from your life, like I've lost a ton of friends, and I've lost a lot of family members, and I have not talked to in an extremely long years and years. It's been like probably over 10 years, because I'm so dedicated to this one specific topic, and now there's that cost, right? Is people being pushed away, and then there's a second cost. There's probably more, but a second one is this. Let's say you're in your teens and you really try to focus on learning this or getting closer to this one specific goal. Um, you may see people disappear from your life, but also you're also exchanging this time, because what's the average person, like their teens, their late teens, or even early 20s doing? It is, well, going out, traveling, going to parties, having fun, whatever, right? That's basically what everyone, I think, does. And that's also a cost, right? Is dedicating so much time to one specific topic. You dedicate as much time as you feel strongly about this. But in my opinion, if you're truly passionate, that's the one thing you care about in life, getting closer, really trying to achieve a specific goal, and you're constantly working towards it, and you're constantly educating yourself, you're constantly just doing whatever necessary. um to me at least, I have no regrets. I have no regret. The time that I could have used toward, and I'm still young, I can still do a lot of this. I can put time aside to do a lot of things I care about, but I have so much dedication, so much passion. This is the one thing I care about, for me, the one specific goal I'm working towards, where the cost of losing people, friends, and so on, it doesn't matter. It does not make me feel empty. Instead, working closer and getting better at this one specific goal and education I'm working on, well, that's all I care about, and that completely makes me feel happy and have no regret. So if you're someone that has yet to start, rather you're in your teens, early 20s, or even 30s, well, if there's one specific thing you want to work towards, like, okay, what can you be doing to not let time just fly by and it feel wasted? Because I think, and for me, my biggest fear, and probably my only true fear, is seeing time fly by seeing myself get older, and I have yet to make progress towards a specific goal. And that wasted time to me is extremely fearful. Um, I want to continue to, I have still the majority of my 20s to get through before I'm 30, and I want to continue to dedicate and continue to evolve, because there's like this compounding interest, not interest, but compounding effect, where it's like you start learning about something and then you can get more advanced into it, and it starts to branch out, and instead of learning about like very basic things, you're using that basic knowledge you learned to then advance further and, learn a lot faster and learn more complex things about this specific thing you're working on. Or it can even be it can be something that's finishing something that takes less time though, but still a decent amount of time, like finishing school, going back to, for example, university, and finishing your degree if that's something you really care about. That you'd feel is, your life won't be fulfilled without it. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about, is working towards a goal, even if it takes a very long time and you don't actually reach it, but putting in all this effort into constantly evolving your education on it, evolving your skills on something, and the time doesn't feel wasted because you feel like you've been doing everything you can to actually achieve it. And then, well, when you reach it, it's like, okay, can you continue? You can be thankful about it, but you can still be hungry to get better, um, at that specific thing. So really, if you haven't started yet, it's like, to me, just thinking about a specific year as a for example, as a milestone for whatever it is you're working on. Like for me, I think about it, and okay, by the time I'm 30, how much progress could I make if I really continue to dedicate and stay consistent with evolving the skill and education that I'm working on? Okay, like that is amazing. And if I waste too much time, and I actually work towards it, then that specific like milestone, deadline, goal, or whatever that you may have is very scary, because it's like, okay, yeah, I'm really wasting time, and then every day you just get closer towards that specific time. So then, you know, to me that's quite scary. So then it's, that pushes me towards, constantly doing something every day, rather it's reading more on this specific topic, educating myself more, just doing everything I can to like feel like I'm getting closer to it and actually track my progress. So if you're someone that already is or has been for however much time, it doesn't matter, working towards something, and you feel like that fire is just dying out, that light is starting to dim, it's like, well, okay, what scares you more, right? Is it letting time fly by? This is dimming, then you just go on and not really focus on that one thing you really care about, and time flies, and then you're like, you think back, because now you can be like, for example, in your early 20s, you can see people in their teens and go, man, I have not dedicated any time towards this one thing I truly care about. And you see all these younger people and you're like, okay, like, man, if I was them, I would dedicate more time to this. And then same thing in your 30s, thinking about people in their 20s or earlier, 40s, people in their earlier years, and you say, wow, like, I really, I wasted so much time, but it's not too late. I can still get started. But are you actually gonna get started? And to me, I have no regret, and I don't have that fear, because I'm always pushing myself towards working towards this goal, and actually, being able to get to it, make progress towards it, and actually notice improvements as I continue to make progress. So, and I have seen plenty. I've seen a lot of improvements on what I am working on personally, the education and skill side of it. But um, yeah, that's what it comes down to. It's like there's a cost to everything, right? So it's like there's a cost, there's an exchange to getting better at a specific goal or topic. Or for example, you can also think about, if you guys like sports, like I forgot who it was. I apologize, I forgot who it was, but someone like spent every single day and they wouldn't leave the gym till they shot like 100 free throws in a row or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but like that's time you could have been using to like hang out with people, maybe go parties or like travel or whatever. But like that's every single day dedicating time towards getting better at something, till, at least in my opinion, till it becomes second nature and just natural for you to do it and constantly get better and evolve that education to build up that skill, or get closer to that goal. And it becomes second nature to the point where, like, if you don't do it, you feel terrible. Like, I feel terrible if I don't actively work towards something every single day, even if it's like reading a couple chapters about the specific topic, or it can even be keeping track of it. It doesn't matter. It's all about, okay, if this is truly something you care about, okay, well, what does that mean? Okay, well, it means I have this much time till I reach like this specific age. How much progress can I make towards then? If I don't do it, will I regret wasting this time? Because time flies. Time flies, and making good use out of this time so you don't feel regrets later on that you didn't work towards something specifically is just absolutely crazy to think about. But I mean, you don't have to worry about that if you really make time. So I understand, like, there's probably people with not much time whatsoever, but like, just ask yourself, okay, what are things I can like sacrifice or like put aside or like not even worry about anymore? Are there any changes I can make to free up more time to work towards or closer towards the goal? Or is there a way that I can change up my day to day strategy on like how I handle my day to make time for this without letting other stuff go? It just depends. Like, everyone has a different life. But if you're like if you're in your teens or in your early 20s, like, man, like, if you're in your teens, next thing you know, you're in your 20s, and you're in 20s, next thing you know, you're in your 30s. So it's like dedicating time, just dedicating it, focusing on it if it's something you truly care about, even if it means pushing away friends and family for extended periods of time and years. It's just, um that's just something you gotta ask yourself and have a conversation with yourself about. Is that actually something I'll be okay with? Does the social aspect of life outweigh this goal that I care about? And if it does, like, maybe your goal wasn't actually, or this thing you really care about, maybe that wasn't it. And maybe you just have a different one, but you just convince yourself that it was this one. I'm not saying any of that really. I'm just trying to say that, it's all about analyzing your goals, analyzing what you truly care about. And if decades pass by and you think back, okay, what is it that I cared about? Did I work towards it all the time to reach this specific goal, this skill set? It doesn't matter. That thought of, like, for example, like I said earlier, for me, I spent so much time. It's been probably like just over a decade, where I spent so much time on one specific topic that I have no regret. I have no regret the opportunity cost of being able to do other things and just focusing on this one thing specifically. Just everything I lost in the way, but everything I gained in education and skill base have completely outweighed all of that. Excuse me, all of that. And I'm very happy about it, and I plan to continue doing so. I plan, and the majority of my 20s are still there, and I plan on still dedicating the rest of my 20s to building up this specific education and skill set. And I have no regret of doing anything, of knowing that I'm not going to do anything else. I am extremely dedicated. I I have no other intentions but to build this up, and that's just how, that's something that I would also show, because I'm going to be documenting my journey along the way for everyone, and documenting my progress. But but yeah, like, I care about the specific things so much that, yeah, like, no one's gonna distract me from it. Absolutely not. And I will not let myself get distracted either. Um, you know, and it's okay to take breaks sometimes, but for me, guys, I don't know. I'm sure there's probably some of you that can relate to me, but like, every single day I'm working on this one topic. I'm educating myself on it. If I go out on a road trip or I travel or anything, I'm always focused on this. I'm always on my computer, just learning, practicing. It's all I care about. It's absolutely all I care about. And if I get to old age and I spent my entire life improving this skill sets in this education, then I'm gonna have no regret, because spending my entire teens and still early 20s, and I plan to spend the rest of my 20s on, focusing on this. I feel completely happy about it. Um, and well, I mean, you guys can share your opinions with me if you want in the comments. Yeah, I'll respond. I really hope at least one of you is just gets that fire reignited, or at least start the fire and really focus on working towards the specific goal or skill set that you care about. Because at the end of the day, when time flies, you just don't want to regret not working towards something that you truly care about. So hopefully this video made sense, and I will catch you guys in the next one.